Hashtag Trending would like to thank Meter for their support in bringing you this podcast. Meter delivers a complete networking stack, wired, wireless, and cellular, in one integrated solution that's built for performance and scale. You can find them at meter.com/HTT. Sam Altman snaps back at critics saying there are buyers for their shares. Stability AI wins a landmark copyright case against Getty Images. Tech giants offer free software looking for a data windfall. Windows 10 refuses to die. And a Google account suspension raises the question of how much power should cloud companies have over their customers. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. If you caught yesterday's show, you'll remember the first big surprise from the BG2 podcast. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella admitted the company has thousands of AI GPUs sitting idle because there isn't enough power to plug them in. Well, the second surprise came from Sam Altman. The usually easygoing OpenAI CEO got a little testy when host Brad Gerstner questioned whether the company's massive infrastructure spending was sustainable. Altman didn't flinch, but he did say OpenAI's real revenue is well more than the $13 billion US figure being quoted, and he told Gerstner, "If you want to sell your shares, I'll find you a buyer." That line had Nadella laughing beside him, and then Nadella jumped in to back him up, saying in his experience, OpenAI had never missed a business plan they've set. Then Altman got back into familiar territory, talking about the future and about building an infrastructure factory that could deliver a gigawatt of compute every week for billions in dollars in cost over 5 years. But the shift was evident. Altman didn't go full Elon Musk, but he did demonstrate he's going to push back from time to time. This may not have received as much attention as some others, but it's an important case for anyone building AI systems. A UK court has largely sided with Stability AI, the company behind Stable Diffusion, in its long-running copyright fight with Getty Images. Getty claimed Stability used millions of its photos without permission to train its model, and that some generated pictures even reproducing Getty's watermark. But it turns out that the court threw out most of Getty's claims, ruling that the training process itself doesn't amount to copying protected works since no individual image is stored in the model. Now that's a significant ruling. The only win for Getty was that the court acknowledged a potential trademark issue remains open if the Getty watermark ever appears in AI-generated output. So why does this matter? Stability isn't one of the industry giants. It's a smaller, open-source player that helped launch the AI art movement. But it doesn't have the deep pockets of the other AI providers, and a loss could be fatal. Even Anthropic, one of the smaller of the AI players, could easily come up with $1.5 billion for a settlement. But Stability's not in that league. And even though this happened to a relatively small company and in a British court, the precedent will be noticed, and it's important. Remember what they said, if no individual image is stored, can you claim that training is equivalent to copying? If that were adopted around the world, this could prevent a lot of future lawsuits. And that's why this ruling is being seen not just as a win for Stability, but a bit of relief for other AI entrepreneurs facing similar challenges. It might look like a race for new users, but what's happening in India is really about building AI on a massive scale. Google, OpenAI, and Perplexity are all offering free or heavily subsidized AI plans in India, a country with more than 700 million internet users and some of the lowest data costs on the planet. Google's deal with Reliance Jio gives customers 18 months of Gemini Pro, normally worth about $400, which is real money in a country like India. Perplexity AI has teamed with Bharti Airtel to offer a year of its Pro service to 360 million users. And OpenAI is giving every Indian user a free year of ChatGPT Go, a paid plan elsewhere. Officially, this could be seen as expanding access, but it's also a great way to develop an AI model. Every query, every image prompt, every correction from India's highly educated, tech-savvy, multilingual population is also training these models, refining how AI understands language and culture at an unprecedented scale. One analyst quoted by CNBC called India the emerging bot training capital of the world. So yes, users are getting free AI, but the companies may be getting something even more valuable: billions of human interactions that will make their systems smarter and more global than ever. Do you remember that horror movie where the villain never seems to die? And not that Windows 10 is a villain, but it does seem impossible to kill off. According to StatsCounter, which tracks usage from 1.5 million websites, Windows 10 still runs on about 42% of PCs. That's compared with 55% for Windows 11. That's far slower than the migration from Windows 7 a decade ago. Why is this happening? Well, Microsoft's stricter requirements for Windows 11, combined with economic uncertainty and new tariffs, haven't helped. Some businesses are just buying time with extended security updates or long-term servicing channels while waiting for hardware refreshes that will come about in the next few years. So how do you attract more people to Windows 11? Microsoft's next big push is AI-powered assistants and agents built into Windows 11. But given the past history and the availability of many other AI options, it might take more than that to scare users away from an operating system that just doesn't want to seem to die. Most modern businesses today live in the cloud, and that's been a fairly good deal. In fact, many businesses probably would be paralyzed if they lost access to the cloud, which many found out in recent outages. But what happens when the loss of the cloud is not just for a few hours, but it's permanent? This week, the Register reported that a small company called SSL Mate had its Google Cloud account suspended 3 separate times, each for a different, unexplained policy violation. Every time, its systems went dark, and each time there was no clear explanation, no human to contact, and no fast way to appeal. To be fair, we might not know the full story in this or any other case. There may be facts that Google can't or won't disclose. But shutting down an entire business infrastructure is a nuclear option. And as anyone who's ever dealt with Google in a crisis might know, there's no open appeal process and very little human oversight. So in the case of a business losing its infrastructure, the consequences can be catastrophic. Which raises a question: what right do cloud customers have? For those whose businesses are dependent on the cloud, your entire business can be shut down and there's little you can do. In Europe, they've been worried about this for some time, hence their efforts to reclaim digital control or digital sovereignty. But here in North America, maybe we might need something else, a cloud bill of rights. Because when the same companies that power our businesses can also switch them off, we might need protections that at least match that power. When AI takes over more of what we do, the question becomes even sharper. What happens when that system, the one running your entire business, gets shut down or just refuses to talk to you? These systems are supposed to make our businesses more resilient. They may have turned out to be a huge point of vulnerability. And that's our show. Once again, we'd like to thank Meter for their support in bringing you this podcast. Meter delivers full-stack networking infrastructure, wired, wireless, and cellular to leading enterprises. And working with their partners, Meter designs, deploys, and manages everything required to get performant, reliable, and secure connectivity in a space. They design the hardware, the firmware, build the software, manage deployments, and run support. It's a single integrated solution that scales from branch offices, warehouses, and large campuses all the way to data centers. Book a demo at meter.com/HTT. That's meter.com/HTT. And we love hearing from you. You can reach me at technewsday.ca or technewsday.com through the Contact Us page. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you could just leave a comment under the video, or as many of you do, track me down on LinkedIn. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.